Well, I suppose the obvious thing would be to go for one of the top three teams or one of the performances of the weekend or one of those teams that have got maximum points. But what about a little focus on Southampton? And shall we consider if their automatic race is run?
Well, hopefully you're going to tell us. So
Mhm.
definitely the big losers, weren't they? A last-minute equaliser from Emmanuel Latte-Lath in the first game. And I was kind of a little bit, Sam, well, okay, if they go and beat Ipswich, that doesn't matter. You know, go and win the head-to-head and bring yourself back and take points off a direct rival. But I think it's the manner of the defeat as well against Ipswich, where frankly they could have been 4-1 up with the chances they had at 2-1 in that game. And then not only to not win the game, but to then lose in the 97th minute, Sam. So the gap is 11 points up to Leicester with one game in hand. It is then 12 points to Leeds, 13 up to Ipswich. They've got 7 games, Sam, in 21 days. Feels like they've got to win all 7, doesn't it?
Does a little bit. And I think Russell Martin said that after the game. Don't call me crazy, but the next 4, when you look at those fixtures, they could win the next 4
There's 3 at home,
conceivably.
right? Let me bring them up, Sam, so you can flesh that point out. And we're not by any means, that doesn't equal 7 wins, but I agree with Sam actually. Yeah, sorry, pick the bones out of that.
Yeah, I just think like the way that Russell Martin's talking, you've got to shorten it, haven't you? You can't look at probably the 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 games and say, right, we're going to categorically win all those games, blah, 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 blah. There's Leeds as well, isn't there, on the final day that I can't quite see there as well. So there's
Yeah.
8 to go, isn't there? But I just think the next 4, conceivably, they could win. And they've, I think, won 4 on the bounce twice already this season, obviously during that brilliant run. So you never know. But I mean, to come from here, like I said, the last time we met up would be just an incredible story. I thought they played some really good stuff. Obviously, at Ipswich, they controlled a lot
Can
of
I
that
say, Sam,
game.
quickly, as an Ipswich fan, Leeds blew Ipswich away for 20 minutes and scored 3 goals at Portman Road with good value for the win. Leicester, for about 20 minutes, were all over Ipswich. The longest sustained period Ipswich have been dominated for at Portman Road this season was in that game between about the 20th minute and the 60th minute. They were really good.
Yeah, and it's a credit to Ipswich to being able to overcome those spells when they don't see a lot of the ball, and a team's very much confident and in the ascendancy. So, yeah, huge credit to them. No surprise, really. Southampton have got really good players. Yeah, kind of Aribo was a bit of a bit part player early part of the season, but I thought this was probably his best performance, one of his best performances. I thought he was a big reason for that control in the first half. And again, obviously, Adam Armstrong playing before this season what would have been an unfamiliar role wide on the right hand side. You know, why is your best goal scorer effectively playing wide on the right? But it really seems to work. Him kind of running in
31
towards
goal
goal.
contributions, Sam, I think now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's gone a little bit under the radar as well. Maybe because they're not in the automatic positions. Everyone hasn't been talking about what an outstanding season he's had, but yeah, they showed their quality in this game unquestionably. I just think mentally, the way they can see goals as well, that fragility there, it's just very unlikely they're going to be able to go and achieve what on the face of it looks pretty impossible. But yeah, those next 4 games on paper, old cliche, nothing's played on old paper, but I wouldn't be surprised if they went on a little mini run again now and possibly got 12 points out of those 4 games, which sounds incredible. But I just think it's going to be too tough a task to get anywhere near it now, in truth.
Surely, Sam, I listened to you and you convinced me about the first 4 games, but surely with it's 3 back-to-back 3, it's Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. Surely that's the killer. You can do a 7-game win streak, sure, but surely not with that schedule and a trip to Leicester in there
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I suppose as well, he will want to keep them with the foot on the gas, though, because if there's any opportunity that they could finish third, so when you think about the potential to make wholesale changes, give younger players an opportunity, if they're obviously assured to be in the playoffs, then invariably managers got that option to make wholesale changes, to rest a few players. But I think, if they can get a good return from that next 4 games, inevitably, I think things are going to change the picture between the top three. So one of those teams could start sliding a little bit if the reality of automatic promotion has maybe gone. So Southampton will want to keep the foot on the gas to try and finish third, because you're going to want to avoid playing West Brom, aren't you? You're going to want to play the team that finishes sixth at the moment, clearly, because there's not a standout contender. So I think that maybe comes into play as well. Couple of other things I noticed. I suppose Kyle Walker-Peters' admission is worth raising. That was a little bit odd when you consider, certainly
When
how
you
he
consider
started.
the right back got a red card as well.
Yeah, I thought that was. People will throw the rule book at me here, but I think people will say that Leif Davis was still going to get his effort away, even though there was a covering defender. I think that's where the kind of argument lies. But I still thought it was a really harsh red. But yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, especially when you consider the profile of Stevens playing on the opposite side. Ross Stewart maybe back for the playoffs, back for the tail end of the season. Bit of a shout, but that would be an extra bit of narrative as well come the end of the season.
It would indeed. But for now, and we're allowed to change our minds, and we will if they do win the next 4 games, it does look like Southampton are possibly out of the automatic promotion race.